Hi, this is Dr. Greg Gillum, CEO of Human Fusion, and welcome to part 5 of the 3 elements of trust. Now we're going to finish up this particular article today. This article appeared February 5th, 2019 in Harvard Business Review by Zenger and Folkman. What does this mean? So we've looked at the variables here that affect trust. We've looked at positive relationships, we've looked at good judgment / expertise, and then finally in the last video we looked at consistency. Now it turns out that if you scored at the 60th percentile in all 3 of those areas, that you landed ultimately in the 80th percentile of effectiveness. So it means that you have to be pretty good at each one of those to score in the, sort of the upper quartile, if you will. Now, what they looked at, they took each of those variables out independently and to see what kind of impact it would have on the data. It turns out that if you take consistency out, the scores drop by like 17%, and a little bit more if you take judgment and expertise out. But where it falls precipitously is when you take positive relationships out. It falls 33%. So the takeaway for me is if I'm going to work on any of them, I'd like to work on all of them, but if I'm going to work on anything, it's going to be working on positive relationships. That's the biggest bang for your buck as it relates to building trust and building rapport with your team. Now, one of the things that we've talked about the entire series is how these things correlate, these variables correlate with the book The Speed of Trust by Stephen M. R. Covey. What is left out in this particular article is the final top of the tree, and that is results. People trust us if we get results. And I think that results are probably just mixed in with this data, but they didn't come right out and explicitly talk about results, and I think that's a potential problem with this study, because I know from experience that we trust people who get results. And so I think that's a missing element in this particular study. Now, final thing I want to say. The great thing about this study is there's absolutely nothing new. Now that may leave you scratching your head. Isn't finding something new in research, isn't that important? Well, yes, but it's equally as important sometimes to actually validate what we already know. And I think this particular study really validates that. It brings it home in a different way, that positive relationships or showing positive intent helps build trust. It shows that good judgment and expertise or capabilities builds trust, and it shows that consistency, having integrity, also builds results. So I think that, or builds trust, sorry. I think that it's really good sometimes to see data that actually simply validates what's already out there in the literature. We don't need to have new data around every corner. We can sometimes be very satisfied with data that simply validates what we already know. Well, I hope that this helps you, this article review. I hope that you'll be able to build trust faster, build trust, more long-lasting trust through this particular article review. And if you like these types of management-related videos, please subscribe to Human Fusion, and we'll try to keep you up to date on all the latest trends that are affecting your management practice today. Thank you. Have a great day.